What is wrong with today's children? Why do some grow up surrounded with comfort yet live ungrateful and restless lives, while others, with far less, radiate joy, discipline, and respect? And how much of a child's future is shaped not by what we give them, but by what we teach them? My friends, let me tell you the story of Ugonna of Umuchukwu, his children Ekenna and Ogonna, and his wise friend Chuks. It is a story I witnessed with my own eyes, and one whose lessons remain with me till today. I'll wait for your comments at the comment section. I'd like to know your thought. Ugonna was a man blessed by God. In his youth, he had worked hard and prospered. He built a fine house in Umuchukwu, drove a decent car, and made sure his children lacked nothing. Ekenna, his son, was about 10. Ogonna, his daughter, was 8. They had wardrobes filled with new clothes, shelves packed with expensive toys, and every holiday they were taken to places children of the village could only dream of. But behind the painted walls of that home was a troubling reality. The children were spoiled beyond measure. At the slightest correction, Ekenna would flare up like a wild goat, shouting at his mother. Ogonna would roll her eyes, slam the door, and even threaten to report her parents to relatives in town. One day, I sat outside their compound when I heard Ugonna shout in frustration. "What is wrong with my kids? I have given them everything, yet they are never satisfied." His wife tried to calm him, but it was clear the house was slipping out of control. Not long after, Ugonna traveled to town to buy school supplies at the local stationery store. There, fate brought him face to face with his old friend Chuks, whom he had not seen in years. The reunion was warm, filled with laughter and memories. But what Ugonna saw when he followed Chuks home left him speechless. Chuks lived a simple life. His house was modest, nothing like Ugonna's. Yet, his children, none above 12, amazed him. They greeted him warmly, bowing their heads in respect. They helped their mother carry water, sweep the compound, and set the table for food, without being told twice. When Chuks spoke, they listened. When their mother asked for help, they responded with joy. Ugonna's mouth fell open. Were these really children? Or angels in disguise? That night, he could no longer hold back. After supper, as they sat under the mango tree, Ugonna leaned forward and asked, "Chuks, tell me the truth. What charm do you use on your children? Mine have everything money can buy, yet they are like wild goats, stubborn, lazy, and rude. But your children, they shine like polished brass. How do you do it?" Chuks laughed softly, shook his head, and said, "My brother, there is no charm. The problem is not with your children. The problem is with you and your wife." Ugonna blinked in surprise. "With us? How?" Chuks leaned forward. His voice was firm but calm. "You gave your children toys, but not discipline. You gave them clothes, but not responsibility. You wanted to be their friend, but you forgot to be their father. You spared the rod, and now you are living with the consequences. Children must learn responsibility, respect, and contentment early. If not, they will grow into adults who despise every hand that feeds them." I saw the truth hit Ugonna like thunder from a clear sky. His eyes dropped. His voice cracked. So, all this time, I was destroying my own children. Chuks placed a hand on his shoulder. "It is not too late, my brother. But you must be strong. Discipline is not easy, especially when it has been delayed. But if you love them, you will not stop trying." Ugonna returned home a changed man. That night, by the soft glow of a kerosene lamp, he sat with his wife. "We have failed as parents," he confessed. "But starting today, we will no longer beg our children for respect. We will teach them discipline, even if they resist." The next morning, Ekenna was told to sweep the compound. He frowned, dropped the broom, and stormed into the house. Ogonna was asked to help in the kitchen. She shouted, "I'm not your servant," and slammed the door. But Ugonna stood firm. Day after day, week after week, he and his wife refused to give in. They no longer replaced broken toys. They no longer ignored disrespect. Every act of disobedience was met with firm correction. The children fought back with tantrums. They sulked, they cried, they shouted. But slowly, very slowly, something began to change. One evening, I walked past Ugonna's compound. To my amazement, I saw Ekenna sweeping the compound, sweat dripping down his forehead. Ugonna was by her mother's side, learning how to stir soup in the outdoor kitchen. They were not perfect, but their rough edges were softening. Weeks later, I joined the family for a meal. For the first time, I saw the children sit quietly, wait for prayer, and say thank you without being reminded. Ugonna's face glowed with relief. He had not only regained control of his home, he had gained back his children's future. Moral of the story. Raising children is not about giving them everything they desire, but teaching them to value what they have. A child who grows without discipline is like a garden left untended, it will only produce weeds. Discipline is love in action. A parent who fails to correct a child today prepares that child for shame tomorrow. Too much pampering destroys character. Comfort without responsibility breeds laziness, arrogance, and disobedience. Children learn more from guidance than gifts. Expensive toys and trips fade, but values and morals last a lifetime. A home without discipline is ruled by chaos. When parents do not lead firmly, children will lead foolishly. Correction is easier early than late. Habits formed in childhood are harder to break in adulthood. Respect is taught, not bought. No amount of money can purchase good manners, they must be trained. Raising children takes courage, not comfort. It is easier to say yes, but true love sometimes says no. A spoiled child brings sorrow to the home. Ungrateful children become a burden instead of a blessing.